everybody. I was debating whether I was going to film this particular project because it's going to take about a week because I have to head down to Missouri here on Monday to go tint some excavators and stuff like that. But otherwise, we got a 2025 Tesla Model 3 in the shop here that is getting tint on all the windows except for the windshield, PPF on the fenders, hood, headlights, front bumper, and then ceramic coating the rest of the body. So, and this morning, honestly, I would have started by like, oh, hey, here's the car before I tinted this whole side, but basically my software, something was wrong with my computer and I got here, tried to get going at 8 o'clock and I spent 2 hours trying to figure it out, finally got going, and it's now 12:30 and I go, you know what, just need to get somewhere here before I take the time to film, because it does take, you know, a little bit of time to talk to you guys and film it and all the other stuff. But other than that, though, we're going with 15% ceramic on all the sides, the back. For the PPF, we're going to be doing optical, I believe it's Evolve. I think it's, they have two different lines. I think it's Defense and Evolve, or Evolution, one of the two. But we're going to be doing the fender all the way from front all the way to the back, the entire hood. We're going to take off that Tesla emblem. We're going to do the entire front bumper, the headlights, and that's going to be about all for PPF on this guy. And then we're going to go through ceramic coat the doors, the glass, the rest of the body. I'll more than likely end up doing the face of these wheels here just because brake dust really isn't going to be a thing on these cars with the regenerative braking and stuff like that. And if I can make them easier to clean, why not? So it shouldn't take too long to do the wheels, I would imagine. But front bumper supposedly is a little bit easier than the previous generation. The fenders, I think, are a little bit harder because they stick up a little bit more from at least the research I've done. But so, as you can see, I'm working on a frameless window, like all Teslas are, for the most part, I think. What I'm doing here is actually taking the film and shrinking it to the curvature of the window itself here. So most frameless windows that I know of, at least, will have something you have to shrink out. So you see these fingers here and there. I got to bring them all to the bottom here. So what I'm going to do, take my squeegee that down, squeegee that down, lift this end up, squeegee that down, that. Now I'm left with some fingers. And all a finger really is tension. You know, the film is bigger than the actual shape of the glass. And all the tint I do is all pre-cut or computer cut. So there's think of it as just like a printer for tint sitting upstairs that I type in the year, make, model, what window I want, stuff like that. And it basically spits this out. But you still got to go through, and every piece of glass is different. It's like, this is a pretty big finger here, so I'll just start. Go down to about there, card him out. You see how I just split it into basically two now? That's what we want. You can see now that the film is shrunk to the curve or the shape of the window. I don't have any of that tension down below anymore. So what I will actually do now, see you guys in position yet? So as far as installing, it's actually, I shouldn't say fairly easy. Personally, I hate installing frameless windows, but everybody's got their preference on what they like and don't like. So now I'll take this off the glass. So I'll spray it all down with some water. Scrub it really good. Get the top edge and the sides really good. After every pass, I'm going to wipe off my squeegee, especially on a frameless window. You don't have any room in terms of messing up or whatever. You know, if you mess up on the edges, on a framed window, most of the time it's covered. You know, you won't ever see it. Versus on this, any little bit shows. Walk it over and basically get level with the bottom of the glass. and just walk it in. It's okay. I'll try to tack that down. Try to tack that side down. Now I get it right about where I want it, which is right about there, actually. I'll try to squeegee out the rest of this without having the film move. It's gonna move on me regardless. I don't even know why I thought differently. But the goal here is just to get out as much water and air as I can. Okay, now I'm sitting really good. So what some tinters don't know is some of these windows have this indentation where it says, you know, Tesla or Honda, whatever, GM, you know, it's etched into the glass. You can actually use this as an anchor point itself. So what I'm gonna do is line it up right there. And I'm just gonna throw some heat right on this. And what this should do is act as essentially a tack, or a very hard tack. Yeah, see, I can't move the film this side anymore. So I'll double check this side. I gotta move it up or down. Put a little bit of heat on the top edge. Okay, now in theory this film should not move whatsoever. So what I do is I'll spray it down, grab my Blue Beast squeegee, and extract the rest of this water out. I don't have enough PPF to really start on this. I also don't feel like decon washing it either. Just have it sit around and get dusty for me to then just have to wash it again on Monday. So it's better off just leaving it as is for now once I'm done tinting it, and then just washing it one time.
The next day.
Well, good morning, everybody. You're gonna have to deal with some jank audio as I left my microphone down in Missouri where I just came from here last night. Where we last left off was the tint on this Tesla is almost done. I still gotta do the back window, but what we're gonna go through and do here now is decon wash it and get it all basically ready for PPF on the front end, ceramic coating the whole body and that sort of stuff. So as you can see, quite a bit of grime on here. So I'm actually gonna start with probably a fairly mild detergent wash, or not detergent wash, but a strip wash, if you would, just to, as the name suggests, strip off anything that might be on there, whether it's dirt, a spray sealant, a wax, whatever it is. Just try to get that knocked off and get the process going here. So, and then after that, we will go through and iron the vehicle, and then after that, we will go through and clay it. So. Okay, so in this I got my rinseless mixed up here, nice and warm water. Gonna let that sit for a while. In this foam cannon I have 800 mils of water, 200 mils of all clean. I'm gonna go through and foam it on the car dry like this to help loosen up all the dirt and stuff like that before I start pressure washing it down. The entire vehicle is coated in iron remover. I'll probably let that sit here for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's start breaking down all the iron or ferrous particles and stuff like that. And then I'll start claying it, rinse it off, dry it, and move it over to the lift. So you can see here how the water even though it's sheeting off, you know, it's pretty slow, but that just tells me that there's no protection left on the surface here. I mean, or if you look at the door, it's not exactly that the water is totally parked on there, but once we coat it, that water's just gonna fly off. So yeah, now I'm gonna dry it and let it sit for a few hours before I start taking apart some little intricate things like the cameras and the front fenders and start PPFing it. So I'm gonna be honest, I almost don't want to record because I know the audio is gonna be not garbage, but gargled maybe a little bit, but I got this fender done. And I just snapped the camera back in, but here's the cool thing about optical PPF is, like the name suggests, it has optical clarity. Dad joke. I mean, I'm a dad now, so I can say that sort of stuff, I guess. But I'll show you the difference side by side between the hood that is just normal paint and then the PPF stuff. That's the difference from there to there. Literally cannot tell a difference. And it'll look better too once I have the hood cleaned up. But otherwise, this fender's done. This headlight's done as well. I'm gonna go to the other side and get that fender done here yet today. But before I do that, I have to pop off this little camera deal off the fender, which this is the new body style, keep in mind. So this is the totally refreshed interior, exterior, everything's different from the previous generation. And now what's nice is that these cameras, truth be told, the few that I have PPF and stuff like that, I've usually broken the tabs and have to finagle it back together. The new ones though have one tab on the bottom. You just push a tool up in there, like not a flathead screwdriver, but more so, oh, what tool did I use? Something like this. You just pop it in there and it releases the tooth that holds it in and it literally falls right out. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. But other than that though, this fender turned out really good. A few pieces of contamination, just right up here, just these three, but the rest, I mean, there's not a speck anywhere through this area. So you have to kind of pick and choose. Could I maybe redo that spot? Maybe. But how do I want to put it? To get those 3 specks out, I might be introducing 5 more somewhere else in the panel. So you got to draw the line somewhere, and that's kind of where I decided to. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's PPF, so it's gonna take a beating. It's gonna, you know, get not necessarily rock chip, but it's gonna get beat up and, you know, used for its intentions. So in a few years, it might still look as good as it does now, and then we'll peel it off and redo it, or yeah, you never know. But okay, so on this fender, popped out the camera, cut and polished all this out to remove any of the scratches and stuff like that, because this Tesla does have actually quite a few. You can almost tell in the reflection there, but it's especially bad on the doors. But what I got plotted out here on this big piece here is the entire fender, and I also got the other headlight waiting. So what I'm gonna do for you guys is just set up a time lapse, come in real nice and close, and you guys get to watch the whole process. Should take about 45 minutes.